Look how this woman at a JD Vance event wants to ban books, but not the Bible, even though the Bible has a lot of sex in it.
Do you think there should be books that are banned in school?
Banned, as far as I know, the ones that teaches pornographic books should be banned in school, yes.
A book that has daughters having sex with their dad, should that be banned in school?
Yes.
So a book that has two daughters getting their dad drunk, having sex with them, that book should be banned in schools.
No, the Bible should not be banned.
Oh, okay.
They're telling histories of what really happened.
That is a story in the Bible.
Yes, I know that is a story in the Bible.
You just said it should be banned.
First of all, what's in the Bible isn't the history of what really happened. A lot of it's just made up. But secondly, if that's her definition, then does that mean documentaries about sex are okay, but fictional movies are not? Very confusing. Oklahoma goes one step further.
Every teacher, every classroom in the state will have a Bible in the classroom and will be teaching from the Bible in the classroom to ensure that this historical understanding is there for every student in the state of Oklahoma in accordance with our academic standards and state law.
That was Superintendent Ryan Walters in Oklahoma saying that the Bible is going to be taught in all the schools in Oklahoma. But interestingly enough, the criteria for what was supposed to be in that Bible fit only the Trump Bible. So they were pushing the Trump Bible. If you're asking what's the Trump Bible, it's the one that he endorsed that has the Declaration of Independence as well as the Bill of Rights in it. They just put everything in there, as well as a menu from In-N-Out Burger. I'm kidding, that's not in there. But the point is that he endorsed it, and Oklahoma was pushing that version of the Bible, and then once word got out that they were going to be buying the Trump Bible, they decided to go back on it.
And we are proud to be the first state to put the Bible back in the classroom. Also, I have no knowledge of who will be the person who provides these Bibles to the schools. I don't know who the vendor will be. I don't know who's applied for that. That's a process that's ongoing that I will ensure is fair and transparent. But what I do know is that the left-wing media hates Donald Trump so much, and they hate the Bible so much, they will lie and go to any means necessary to stop this initiative from happening.
So Oklahoma is still going to make all the kids learn the Bible, but they're not going to force schools to buy the Trump Bible. By the way, the words Trump Bible sounds like an oxymoron, right? It just doesn't go together. Because the truth is, the guy's not very religious. Watch.
Have you ever asked God for forgiveness? That's a tough question. I don't think in terms of, I'm a religious person. Shockingly, because people are so shocked when they find this out, I'm Protestant, I'm Presbyterian. And I go to church, and I love God, and I love my church. And Norman Vincent Peale, the great Norman Vincent Peale, was my pastor.
But have you ever asked God for forgiveness?
I'm not sure I have. I just go and try and do a better job from there. I don't think so. I think if I do something wrong, I think I just try and make it right. I don't bring God into that picture. I don't. Now, when I take, when we go and church and when I drink my little wine, which is about the only wine I drink, and have my little cracker, I guess that's a form of asking for forgiveness. And I do that as often as possible because I feel cleansed, okay?
He sure did hem and haw his way through that one, now didn't he? And at the end, he just said, all right, once in a while when I drink your wine and have that cracker, I guess I'm asking for forgiveness. Whatever it takes to get your vote. The guy is not sincere. He doesn't have a sincere bone in his body. But he convinced those people, and they love him, and they vote for him. But some of them are seeing the grift.
When you don't read and pray, you say, wow, there's a Bible out now that includes the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. Isn't that wonderful? No, it's disgusting. It's blasphemous. It's a ploy. Are you kidding me? Some of you are so encouraged by that. Let me tell you something. The gospel is not an American gospel. It is the gospel of the Lord Jesus Christ.
So as you saw, that pastor had had enough, and he's saying, no, this whole grift, this whole thing with the Bible, the Trump Bible, buy the Trump Bible, it's not supposed to be, religion is not supposed to be about one man, but they've made it about this man. A lot of the Trumpers, a lot of MAGA have made it about Trump. And it's basically a marketing ploy. I mean, at this point, he's just marketing everything. He's selling coins and shoes and Bibles and NFTs. He's like a QVC. He's a walking QVC. But like I said, he's not religious. Trump Bible is an oxymoron. He puts the moron into oxymoron. So what's going on, guys? What's going on is that the religious right loves Donald Trump, and they're trying to push other religious folks, other Christians to vote for him because they say he's going to look out for you. Jesus sent him. It's all a little insane. And by the way, this idea of teaching the Bible, it's fine to learn the Bible. Everyone should have knowledge of the Bible, the Quran, the Torah, whatever. If you want to learn about it, you should. But the way that they're teaching it in Oklahoma and the way that they're putting it in all these classrooms reminds me a little bit of the Taliban. Reminds me a little bit of, the Islamic Republic of Iran. Reminds me of these other countries where they force kids to memorize the Quran or a religious text because that's how they brainwash kids. And so we're starting to see that happen in a place like Oklahoma. And so the question becomes, why? Why are they doing that? Because it's control. They want to have control. They want to be able to tell you from a young age how you should think. You should think conservatively. You should think in a way that women should not be independent. Women shouldn't be making their own decisions. Women should not be allowed to make a choice if they wanted to get an abortion. That should not be allowed. Because why? Because the religious right wants to have control. It goes in line with this Project 2025, which has gotten a little quieter, but don't forget it. Don't sleep on it because that's the Heritage Foundation. You've got a lot of conservative people who are trying to impose their beliefs on the rest of the country. For the most part, this is a diverse country. For the most part, we also have a country that is, has a lot of progressives in it. Some people aren't religious. Some people are religious. Some people feel that, they're open-minded to many things, whether it's a woman choosing what to do with her body or LGBTQ marriage or whatever it is. Some people are that. And in America, you should be able to make those choices and be that. But if you listen to what's happening in Oklahoma, if you listen to what the Heritage Foundation wants, and if you listen to what Donald Trump is willing to do to play ball, it's all very, very dangerous and scary and threatening. Again, don't take my word for it. Look at other countries that have forced all their students to learn one text, religious text, and the way they start to teach it becomes more and more ingrained and more of a brainwash than it is let's have an intellectual conversation on the good and the bad of the Bible or the Torah versus the Quran or whatever you want to say. So it's funny that Donald Trump has a Bible because it's just so ridiculous. It would be like me selling hair care products. I mean, come on, right? What are we doing here? But at the same time, it is dangerous. It is serious. And we cannot sleep on that. Look at what's going on in Oklahoma. Make sure that you try to educate your friends, your family. Make sure you're registered to vote. Because if you don't, then you're going to have more and more states do things like Oklahoma, where they're going to take control. Obviously, Oklahoma's been Republican for a long time, but a lot of these states, what they've been doing is they've been taking their control of the state legislatures and then passing these different laws that enforce one religion. Yes, America overall is a Christian country, but we have separation of church and state, and that's done well for us for a long time. Once you combine church and state, we're going to have a problem, because if somebody does not agree with your religion, well, then that state starts becoming authoritarian, and that state turns into, like I said, the Taliban, Islamic Republic of Iran, or any other dictatorial country that you'll see in the world right now. And once again, don't sleep on it. Once you've watched this video, please, once again, go check out Project 2025. They've laid out how they want to give power to Trump if he wins so that he can implement these types of things further and further and take more and more of your rights away, more and more of your liberties away in this country. So don't be fooled. Don't buy that Bible. If you want to read the Bible, read it. If you don't want to read it, don't read it. I wouldn't say ban the Bible. I wouldn't say ban any book. Read. It's good. It's good to broaden your mind and your horizons a little bit. Come on, MAGA. Read a book that has some kind of sex that's not the Bible. Come on, MAGA! Guys, I'm comedian Maz Jobrani. I'm on tour right now, so if you're living in the U.S. or you're living overseas, I'm coming to you. Go to mazjobrani.com, check out my schedule, come out and have a laugh with us, or check out my special on YouTube. It's called The Birds and the Bees, and it's free.